Hi there. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about intermittent fasting. It is something that's a cornerstone of what I use in my weight loss programs. It's something that was transformative in my life about 6 years ago. My weight was stuck and nothing was working, despite being an expert in weight loss. And a lot of people wonder, well, what is it exactly? So I'm just going to talk about kind of what it is. Why would somebody want to do this? So basically what it is, if you imagine your body's like a car, and a car has two sources of fuel, gas or electricity. Well, your body has two sources of fuel. It can use glucose, which comes from food, which typically is how we fuel our body. We're eating 3-4 times a day. You know, it's not so much about the amount, but the frequency. And that in and of itself, it's like putting gas in the gas tank, right? The body has a fuel, keeps using glucose for fuel. But your body can also use fat for fuel. This is a term known as ketosis. So it can break down fat into ketones. It's called ketosis. Now your body's fueled using that. So basically, intermittent fasting, what it's doing is it's giving your body a signal to shift gears from using glucose for fuel to fat for fuel. Because your body just needs a long enough period of time with no food or very low calories, one or the other, or a combination of both. And that's a signal to the brain saying, uh-oh, I don't have any fuel. It's been a while. Insulin is the hormone that manages blood glucose levels. Insulin drops down, and when that happens long enough period of time, that's a signal, and that opens the gates to your body now being able to break down fat. So that in a nutshell is what intermittent fasting is. It's intermittent. You're not just not eating for several days straight. There are, pure water fasts that do this, but there's, it could be 16 hours of fasting or 20 or 24 hours. Generally you want more than 12 hours. And so that's basically it. You give your body a little break, bring the insulin levels down, and it will switch gears. And who would do this? Well, typically, people that want to do this type of thing, for the most part, are people that are for weight loss purposes. I find particularly it works really well, and who I work with are people that are kind of maybe women who've gone through hormonal changes, or men and women who are over 40, their body's changed, maybe they've been carrying the fat for a while, hormones have changed, and the old tried and true, eat less, exercise more, eat less carbs, more protein isn't working anymore for weight loss purposes. So that's where this, using intermittent fasting, just gives a whole other approach for weight loss. So people that are carrying the weight where you find, you just feel like something's not working, like you just can't seem to lose the weight, well, that's where intermittent fasting is very beneficial. And the other thing is people that have issues with blood sugar levels. Now, depending on the severity of that, to do fasting, you might need supervision, particularly if you're using medication, to also help manage your blood glucose levels. But certainly fasting is a great way because you're dropping insulin down. People can become insulin resistant, or their blood sugar levels are too high. And so fasting, intermittent fasting, is a great way to wake up those insulin receptors and just help to rebalance the body so then it can handle your carbohydrates, which get broken down to glucose. It can handle them better than it has been, which often contributes to your blood glucose levels and weight issues. So those are sort of the typical people that would want to do this. They've been carrying the weight, they're stuck, it's focused on the belly, maybe blood sugar issues, and those would be the main people. I mean, there's a lot of other benefits to intermittent fasting. I'm going to do a few more videos on that, but I just really want to touch on, what it is, who would typically do it, and why would they do it? It's because their body's no longer responding properly to the usual stuff for weight loss, and they need something different. This was my own personal breakthrough when 6 years ago, as I mentioned, my body was stuck. I was carrying weight, and when I switched strategies completely to using intermittent fasting and a certain way of eating, I dropped a huge amount of weight, like 20 pounds in 6 weeks, and I've kept it off. So it's really quite transformative. So if you're somebody who's struggling, certainly you should really look into it. It's a great strategy. It's actually a lot easier than what people think it's going to be. They worry, are they going to be hungry, are they going to be foggy in the brain? But once the body gets efficient at using your body fat, all that goes away, and you're satisfied, you're not hungry, you can think clearly. Anyways, I'm going to talk more about that in another video, though, about some of the other benefits aside just from body fat and weight and blood sugar levels. So there you go. Look into it. Check out my website. I have more information on intermittent fasting, and it's something to seriously consider.